541. That's 727-541-1741. Call Gulfstream Motorsports for a diminished value report. Due to my 28 years experience in the auto salvage business, I'm very good with wrecks. So if your car's been involved in a wreck, call me for a diminished value report. Call 727-541-1741. You may be owed some money for the lost value of your repaired vehicle. And visit us at GulfstreamMotorsports.com.
Looking for car shows? Then look no further than FLACarshows.com. On your computer or on your mobile device, FLACarshows.com is a comprehensive list of automotive events, plus videos and news articles. Whether you're looking for car shows, cruise-ins, meetups, automotive festivals, cars and coffees, or anything else relating to an internal combustion engine, then this is a site for you. Check it out online or on your phone at FLACarshows.com.
Racing's important to me as well. Racing is life. Anything that happens before or after, just waiting.
I want you to drive flat out.
What is so important about driving faster than anyone else?
Michael? Be careful.
This isn't just a 1,000-to-1 shot. This is a professional blood sport. And it can happen to you. Then it can happen to you again.
Hello, this is the annoying Jay Leno, and you're listening to Nostalgic Radio and Cars.
Okay, listeners, welcome. You're tuned in to Nostalgic Radio and Cars, and I'm your show host, Robert. Run your computers and Google TANTalk1340.com, and you can see us live here in the studios in downtown Clearwater. Don't forget to check out our website, GulfstreamMotorsports.com, where you can find out all about us. And if you missed any of our 700 and some odd shows, don't forget to check out NostalgicRadioandCars.com. Good evening, Edward. How are you?
Good evening. Just fine, thanks.
Well, we got a busy week this week. Obviously, if you want to find out where all the car shows are in the state of Florida, you definitely check out FLACarshows.com. A big one this weekend out of state. Well, actually, there's a couple of them. I'm going to give you a quick rundown. Moultrie, if you're a swap meet junkie like me, that's this weekend in Moultrie, Georgia. Field of Dreams is this weekend in Brooksville. Motor Enclave, Cars and Coffee, is this weekend in Tampa. And the Muscle Car and Corvette Nationals is in Rosemont, Illinois, which is basically Chicago this weekond. So without further ado, we're going to talk to someone from each one of these events. And, well, with the exception of Moultrie, because we had Landry on a couple of weeks ago talking about that when we were talking about the Sumter County Swap Meet, or Sumter Swap Meet. Anyway, but we're delighted to have the show this evening. The promoter for the Field of Dreams car show, John Romaniak. John, are you there?
I am, Robert. How are you?
Pretty good. Good evening. So tell us a little bit about Field of Dreams. Give us your little background and how Field of Dreams all came to be.
Sure. Well, this is our 9th annual show. My wife and I decided 9 years ago that due to our good fortune, we wanted to try to give back to the community, and we thought that the Shriners Hospitals for Children would be the best way to do that, through a car show. So we got with Florida Classic Park, and everything clicked. You know, we started the show, and it's been growing every year. We just have a great time putting it on.
Okay, so give us a rundown of what's going to take place. So it's this Friday and Saturday, right? Correct?
Well, actually, it's this Saturday,
or Saturday and Sunday. Right, I'm sorry.
The 22nd and 23rd. The show car gates and vendor gates open at 8. Spectator gates open at 9 each day, and it runs till 4 o'clock. We have judging and trophies on Sunday, but Saturday and Sunday we have a lot of door prizes, a lot of raffles, arts and crafts, swap meet, live music, a DJ. We got a lot going on, antique tractors, and there's going to be a lot of antique trucks there. So it should be a good time.
All right. So basically, give us an idea. So you called it the classics. It's Classic something Park. Is that the name of that whole venue up there?
Yeah, the venue is Florida Classic Park.
Okay.
It's located at 5360 Lockhart Road, Brooksville. It's right off of I-75 and Route 50, just west of that.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. You couldn't have picked a better location because, it's like you said, it's only a few miles down the road. There's a racetrack there. There's a McDonald's there. And more importantly, there's a Cracker Barrel down the road. So
exactly. And,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and so give us a little bit on your background. I mean, as far as, car collector, business, profession, what do you do?
Yeah, well, I'm fully retired now. I retired out of law enforcement and been fortunate my whole life. I enjoy old cars. We currently have 3. And again, that's why we started the car show. We decided that it would be a good way to give back. It's something we enjoy doing and gives everybody somewhere to take their car and have a good time. And this weekend's promising to be some great weather, so it's going to be a great show.
How many cars would you say would be there?
Well, we had like 300 cars last year, and we've been growing every year. So I'm expecting well over 300 this year.
Okay. So give us a breakdown of the classifications of cars. I mean, what type of cars? Let's assume I'm a real car enthusiast. What could I expect to see there?
Well, this is what they call an open car show. So if it's got a motor and wheels, it's invited. New, old, you'll see everything from, well, got one guy supposed to bring a 1904 Cadillac.
Oh.
And you'll see some brand new cars. And there'll be trucks and Jeeps, rat rods, muscle cars, street rods, a little bit of everything.
Well, it's funny because that you mentioned that because I know I'm a member of the British Car Club that's up that way, and I know that they sent out an email say, "Hey, we're going to be at the Florida Field of Dreams car show this weekend." So there's going to be foreign cars there as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. They're all invited. Looking forward to it.
So, how's the judging process? How's that take place? What all is involved there?
Well, I make up 5 homemade trophies that we give out to the best show, best street rod, best truck, best original, and best street muscle car street rod. Yeah, there's 5 of them that get given out that are homemade trophies. And then we give out, for the top 50, they're given awards in the form of a plaque with last year's pictures of the show winners on it and all. And then we also have awards that be given out for most unique, most original, and then we have a Shriner's pick, a vendor's pick. We even have a kid's pick. And what we do with the top 50 is everyone that comes into the show car passengers, the driver, even all the spectators, they all get a voting card, so they all get involved in it, and it's just a great time. Everybody gets to vote for their favorite car. We tally that up, and that's how we give out the top 50.
Okay. Talk a little bit about the Shriners now, and that's the primary charity, or is there any other charity involved?
No, that's the primary charity. It's the only one that we give to, and it's the Shriners Hospitals for Children, and they just do some great work. A lot of people have been helped by them and are very familiar with them, and they just do wonderful work. They don't charge. They do accept insurance if you have insurance, but if you don't, that's not a problem. They will treat your child and give him any care that they possibly can.
That's a wonderful organization, and of course, we really, truly have to look out for children, not necessarily our own, which is very important, but other children as well, because they all need a chance, right?
Absolutely.
So you were in law enforcement. Where were you in law enforcement at?
City of Tampa.
City of Tampa? Okay. And were you one of those guys that would chase me down if I was going over the speed limit, or were you a detective, or what or can you even talk about your position?
No, I can talk about that. I worked on the street for about 7 years. I went detective division for about another 14. I went back to the street as corporal for about 7 years.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so which kind of cars did you get to drive back when you were driving the streets?
Well, probably the oldest thing I had, because I'm an old guy now, was a 1976 Plymouth Fury we had.
Oh, that's a biggie.
Yeah, they were boats.
Well, it's interesting I mentioned that because one of my listeners is Mark from Cop Cars Online. And, of course, his specialty is he buys and sells really nice and reconditioned police cars. And he's got a number of them from Tampa Police Department as well as Sheriff's Department and everything else around the county, And, of course, they go to machinery auction back in the day. A lot of your cars would show up there.
Mm-hmm.
But those big old Plymouth, then they had the Dodge Diplomat, then they had the Chevy Novas, and I'm not all sure what I know I'm out of Pinellas, so that's what we had over there was mostly Diplomats and Novas, in the 70s. And then they went to, I think, the Crown Vics, and they've been the Crown Vics ever since until whatever they got now, SUVs, I guess, right?
Yeah. They stopped producing the Crown Vics, I guess. And everything's going to SUV now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the last year for a Crown Vic was 2011, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to get with Mark, and then we'll have to have a police car display up there next year if he doesn't make it. Now, the Field of Dreams is 1 year only. It's an annual event, correct?
That's correct. It's
okay.
Always the weekend before Thanksgiving.
Okay. Now, if I want to participate as a spectator, what's it going to cost me?
Well, spectator entry fee is $5 each. 12 and under are free.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
like I said, they get a voter's card, so when they come in, they can vote for their favorite vehicles, and we tally that all up and see who wins.
Okay. And then if I want to bring my car, what does that cost me? What am I looking to spend there?
Well, for the 2-day show, it's only $20 per car.
Okay.
You can pay cash at the gate, and that gets you in both days.
Okay.
And you'll get a goodie bag, a dash plaque, several coupons, and then we also have a lot of door prizes for the show car participants.
Okay. So that $20 per car, does that include 2 people that come in as well?
Well, up to 4 people in a car.
Okay, up to 4 people in a car. Okay. Tell us about some of the other stuff. So you're going to have music, so you're going to have a DJ there, I presume, right?
Yep. We got DJ Steve Burr will be there. And then we got Scott Himes will be playing live music on Saturday. And the Time Travelers will be there on Sunday.
Oh, good. Nothing beats live music. Okay, now you said there's a swap meet and a vendor area. So what will be there? How many vendors? How many swap meet guys? What do you think?
Well, we got probably about a dozen plus that are committed to coming already. Plus, I've been getting several calls even today for people wanting to come, and they can just come and show up Friday morning starting at 9 a.m. as vendor setup. And then we have over 35 or more arts and craft vendors coming. And again, we'll probably get a few more on Friday and Saturday morning.
Okay. And if I want to be a vendor, swap meet guy, what's it cost me?
Well, the arts and crafts and the swap meet are the same. They run $30 for the weekend.
Okay. That's not bad. That's a good deal. $15 a day.
Yeah.
Super.
Well, we try to make it affordable where they can make their money back by selling just 1 or 2 items. And, we're just trying to grow the show as large as we can and offer as much opportunity to people as we can. We got Dave Hendrickson with Hot Brush FX will be there pinstriping cars live, and the guy is phenomenal. Yeah, if you get a chance to come by and watch him do his work. And then we also have some great food vendors there. Barbecue, we got Italian food, we got a little bit of everything. So.
Well, sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. If people want to find out more about it, what do? They go to a website? Tell us about the website.
Sure. They can go to fieldoddreamscarshow.com. And we also have a Facebook page. And in addition to that, one of the raffles we're going to have gift basket raffles going off. We'll have 50-50 drawing each day. But one of the most popular raffles is we have a brand new Yeti cooler filled with adult beverages that will be raffling off, and you don't have to be present to win it.
All right. So one more time, what's the timetable? What's the schedule again this weekend?
Well, it'd be Saturday and Sunday. Show car gate and vendor gate opens at 8 a.m. Spectator gate opens at 9, and the show runs till 4 o'clock.
Super. That's a good time. Good time. That's just before the sun goes down. Excellent. Well, John, I want to thank you very much for hanging out with us. I look forward to seeing you there this weekend, and we'll see if we can help cross-promote Field of Dreams for you this weekend.
Well, Robert, I appreciate you having me.
Thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you again. Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
That looks like a lot of fun. I've been to that event, and I think everybody's going to truly enjoy it. The thing about it is it's an open show. So that means it's not like, Ford Pacific, Chrysler Pacific, GM Pacific, foreign cars or something. It's just a little of everything. And truly, one of the things that I like is car shows where you have a variety of cars. Granted, I might be partial to Fords or something like that, or, some European cars, but I like to see a little of everything because you just never know what shows up. In fact, I think a year or two ago, there was a guy that showed up there with a really cool, extremely rare 72 Torino Cobra Jet, factory 4-speed with a factory Ram air setup on it, which that was extremely rare if you could ever find one of those. So, and I, of course, need one because I have a 72 Range Rover GT. But anyway, on that note, we're going to fire up the stereo. We're going to play a little, Green Onions. There you go. We got a little Booker T and the MGs. In fact, Steve Cropper, lead guitarist for and founding member of Booker T's, was on a show a number of years ago. So, hey, don't touch that dial. We'll be right back with our next guest here on Nostalgic Radio and Cars. Okay, we're back, and you tuned into Nostalgic Radio and Cars, and I hope you enjoyed that. Green Onions, Booker T, and the MGs, and if you remember that last scene, drag race scene in American Graffiti, pretty cool. Probably the best song for that. Anyway, hey, this weekend, we already talked about Field of Dreams, but also a big event taking place over here at the, I don't know how to describe it. I'm going to say spectacular, fantastic, fabulous. I mean, it fits all those adjectives. The Motor Enclave in Tampa, which is a private racing car club. I mean, you're familiar with golf courses, right? Well, this is for car guys. And I'm delighted to welcome to the show this evening the founder and president, I guess, of the organization, Brad Oleshansky. Brad, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Very, very good. Last time we talked, a lot of that stuff was still on the ground. Now it's been 3-4 years later, 5 years later, and that place is, I don't know how to describe it. It's blowing up. It's amazing. You are world renowned over there. So tell us a little bit about the Motor Enclave.
Well, I appreciate it. It's been a long road. We've been officially open for almost 2 years. Our anniversary is in January. We built the ultimate motorsports destination here in Tampa, right at the corner of I-4 and I-75. We have the largest community of private garages in the world, 300 luxury garages with only 2 left out of 300. So that's, thank God, gone well. They range in size from 600 square feet to the largest one's 14,000 square feet. We have over 1,000 cars on site in those garages that are some of the greatest cars in the world, and many cars that people don't even know exist in Tampa. We have a 1.7-mile Herman Tilke design track, basically Formula One spec track. We just don't do Formula One races or sanctioned racing with a private driving club. We have a 2-acre skid pad where we do autocross and drifting and other fun activities, and we have 100 acres of off-road trails for everything from Jeeps, Broncos, Raptors, cross cars, side-by-sides. And lastly, we've got the largest, beautiful modern event space in Tampa Bay, 42,000 square foot event center where we do everything from team buildings and offsites and board meetings and charity events and car shows and anything in between.
Well, I can tell you that I had the opportunity to kind of just visit you guys a little bit when the Mille 1000 was here, and I was truly impressed And yeah, you have a spectacular event. Now, you were originally tied in with the M1 in Detroit, okay, the M1 concourse. And then
that was my baby as well.
That was your baby.
They're both crazy ideas I had.
Well, no, but those are really good crazy ideas. There's a lot of guys that like that kind of crazy idea, because now you're catering to the car guy for a change.
Most people, everybody, when I started building the M1 and including here in Tampa, said I was crazy. And then now they all call me a genius. I'm like, how do you go from crazy to genius just because it worked out?
Well, Brad, now there's a rumor. I'm understanding there's a rumor that you're working on another one. Is that true?
The rumor may be accurate. There's a few in the works, and every day I wake up and go, what am I doing?
Wow. Okay. So is the rumor like it might be in Florida or another state, or there's an expansion? What are we talking here? Is it something you could share?
Yeah. I mean, first of all, the one thing that's public is I'm building a garage community in Sarasota of just garages.
Okay.
And it's kind of a satellite to our Tampa project, an hour away. In terms of full-blown similar projects, I have one in development in Florida and a couple out of state. The one in Florida is the most, or sort of farthest along, and it's, I would say, in an amazing location. I can't disclose yet, but these things take a long time. The problem is, it's like you can't just say, I want to do 12 of these and go buy property and do it. The zoning and entitlements and all the things involved with a racetrack are very challenging. My model is being close to population. It's easy to build a racetrack 2 hours from civilization. Very hard to build a racetrack at the corner of Main and Main like we did here in Tampa.
So give us an idea. Tell us a little bit some of the what's the word I'm looking for? The logistics that are involved, if you will.
I mean, like any other real estate project, you got all kinds of things like environmental and geotech and land and zoning and all that stuff. And then you add complexity. As soon as you say racetrack, you get 10 times more scrutiny. And as soon as you add all the elements that we have, the building department doesn't know what to do because it doesn't fit into the code. They say, what are you? Are you residential? Are you office? Are you this? Like, no, we're car condos. Well, what is that? Oh, you're a racetrack. Oh, we're an event space. And then it turns into 10 times more work and aggravation because they put all their eyes on it to try and figure out how to manage you or restrict you because they just don't understand it. So it takes a long time and a lot of lawyers and just barriers to knock down constantly. And that's what I'm good at, I suppose. I like people to tell me it can't be done, and I figure out how to do it, and I do it open and honestly and ethically. And any community that, like in Michigan and here, like this is a dream project. You're taking a dead piece of dirt, create a ton of tax parcels who will pay their tax bill. All my clients actually pay their taxes. And we don't use schools. We don't use barely any utilities. And it's very low traffic demand, except for maybe 4 times a year like this weekend. So it's a very complex thing. I'm not a real estate developer by trade. I knew nothing about it. It's just, kind of learn the pieces and get the right people. And, my whole thing started with I want to build a paradise. I want to build a destination for car fanatics. And I did that in Michigan first. And it was great. And then I realized, like, Michigan's awesome, but Metro Detroit's not a growth area, number one. Number two, we have winter, so you can't use the track 3-4 months a year. And there's much more opportunity in growth cities like Tampa, and it's worked out pretty well so far.
Is noise a concern, something that you had to deal with, because, you're really almost in the thicket of a residential area there somewhat, to the south of you, right? Or southwest there? So
noise is always a concern. This particular site, well, a couple things. Number one, we're between I-75 on one side and Tampa Executive Airport on the other side. So there's already a lot of existing noise before we built anything. That's the secret or the magic of how we got this approved, number one. Number two is the way you design the property, if you're smart, is to mitigate the noise as best as possible. Orientation of the track is really towards the airport and the freeway. The buildings are designed to block some noise. And because we're not competitive, we have a different level of noise restriction than a normal racetrack would be, because once you have competitive elements, the noise is way greater and you're subject to different noise standards. So, but we try to be the best neighbor we can. we recognize that there is new noise and things that may not be used to. But honestly, we've had very few challenges, and when we do, we literally can demonstrate that the noise from existing sources is greater than what we're creating.
How about traffic? Coming through these little communities, was that an issue too?
No, because the only time it's an issue is like for the big event like this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
It's just thousands and thousands of people. But our typical day is very low demand. Actually, we've proven in Michigan, and we use the same data here, and it's proven out to be true. We're kind of like a marina. Each of these garages, are like a boat slip, and you don't go to the marina and have every boat owner at the marina the same day. You have a special event, or it's the big boat race, or 4th of July. Yeah, it might be busy, but on a typical day, you got a marina with 200 boat slips. You might have 10 people there. Very similar here, and plus we got our event business, and most of our events are a couple hundred people, so we really don't have an issue, on a day-to-day basis with traffic. It's actually very low demand, but a few times a year, and we work very closely. Like at our Cars and Coffee this Saturday, we'll have a dozen sheriffs, throughout the community and creating traffic flows and ingress and egress, and figured out how to do that, pretty well.
Before I get into this weekend, I wanted to talk a little bit about so people understand this is a racing venue, basically like a race car kind of country club, but you also have this huge convention facility, if you will. Okay, 40,000 square feet. So my question is because it is so unique, and because even though you cater primarily to car guys, do you get other people from other factions of businesses that say, you know what, this would be really cool to rent this facility to have one of our, let's say, gatherings, conventions, or something as well? Do you get a lot of inquiries about that from non-car people because it's so unique?
That's the magic of the business, and that's what I learned in Michigan, which was not by design. I thought it was going to be a car community and car people and automotive companies. Turns out more than 85% of our business is non-automotive. It's, JP Morgan in the morning for a client entertainment, and Joe's Plumbing Distribution Company in the afternoon for a team building, and the American Cancer Society at night for a charity event, and a trade show on Saturday, and a wedding on Sunday. And that the space itself is conducive to all types of events. But the beauty is we use the racetrack and the off-road track and the vehicles as the experiential component. So rather than just having a boring meeting at a hotel or a convention center, while you're having your meeting, part of the event can be get a ride in a race car, go for a driving activity, go to the sim room. So people leave with a much better experience, and everyone wants to experience things. They're not looking for just people throw events now. You got to deliver an experience. You can't just do a boring meeting anymore. So we're kind of an experience center, and it's really not automotive clientele. We get a few car companies that come and do a car launch or a dealer training. We certainly got a lot of car enthusiasts for our community of garage owners and for the public that comes to our car shows. But our day-and-day bread and butter is taking non-automotive companies and even a lot of people that come to those events that aren't car people per se. But you put everybody in a car for a thrill ride on a racetrack, they immediately become a car person.
Well, that's good. We need more car people. All right, so let's talk about the grand finale. Let's talk about this weekend, the big Cars and Coffee. How often do you do this, and what can I expect?
So Cars and Coffee is 4 times a year. I'd love to do it every month, but it's thousands of cars and a logistical nightmare, which we've sort of figured out how to do. We use 2 entrances. We got an airport entrance on one side of the property and the main entrance on the other side. The sheriff funnels the traffic a certain way. We've got it down to science. This is our 7th edition. This one's actually sponsored by GT Financial. They used to do a car show that used to be at the Steinbrenner Field, and they're kind of merging it into our show as an added feature. We have a ton of vendors, and we got a kids zone, and we do thrill rides on the off road, and we do laps on the sim. We have sim driving simulators, and we get free donuts and coffee, and it's a free event. That's the biggest thing for me is I wanted to always have something for the average car guy who couldn't afford one of my garages or even couldn't afford one of our driving programs, but could be part of this community. And we get thousands of cars and thousands of people, and they come in, and you may have to wait a few minutes to get in, but park on a racetrack, see a crazy assortment of cars. We do a VIP brunch for people that pay a little extra money to get special parking and an amazing brunch. But everyone else, it's literally come get a free donut and coffee and walk around with your family and check out the displays, as well as, you can pay for a ride on the off-road or pay for an autocross throw ride. So, and it's very reasonable. Those rides are, $25 to $50. And we sell swag, and the vendors sell swag, and it's really the ultimate car show. Some people say it's the largest car show in the country. I don't know if that's the case. It might be the largest cars and coffee in the country, because I've been to Hershey and other giant shows, which are multi-day and tens of thousands of people. But certainly cars and coffee, I'm not sure anyone has as many cars and as many people and as well organized as what we do.
So what's the time schedule? It's this Saturday, correct? In Tampa.
It's this Saturday at the Motor Enclave. You can also go to themotoronclave.com for information, or search Cars and Coffee with an EN instead of and see all the details. The show time for this show, let me make sure I don't say the wrong thing. I think it's from 10 to 1. 10 to 1. People can come early. The gates will open around 9 because it does back up. And people, generally come, and many people stay the whole time, but some people, leave a little earlier, but it's up to them. And it's, once again, free. You show up and the traffic police will direct you in, and you can enjoy everything there is to see here. And it's really crazy cars. And this weekend particularly, we've got some special show cars from the GTE Motorfest Car Show. That's kind of a show within a show, and we're bringing in some very, very special cars, some from our owners, some very historic, famous cars, as well as even a brand new Lamborghini Countach that's $2 million coming from a Lamborghini dealer in Naples.
Interesting. Now, you sell condos and you sell memberships. If the condos were all sold out, but I still want to have access to the Motor Enclave, let's just say, as a member, how does that work?
Yeah, so there's really, outside of being a garage owner and a motorsports club member, which you have to be a garage owner to be, 2 other ways to access our track. Actually, 3 other ways. One is you can attend a corporate event. So if you're part of a company, if you get invited to a corporate event from your company or another company, great. You probably get to drive or be driven. Number 2, we do, if you go to our website, themotoronclave.com, there's a button that says drive. You click on that, you'll see all the different sort of paid driving experience. We do everything from team defensive driving to intro to track driving to intro to off-roading. And most of our programs are around $500 for 4 hours of driving, which is extremely reasonable. The third way, so that's got pay for play on an individual basis. The third way is we have a drivers club called the Pirelli Drivers Club, sponsored by Pirelli. It's a Sunday drivers club for 4 hours every Sunday. I think we have 20 spots left out of 100, and it's only $1,000 a month, so $12,000 a year. But you get to ride every Sunday for 4 hours, which equates to $250 per session, which is the cheapest track day in America. And it'll be the same 100 members. It's got incredible hospitality and some perks that really helps provide. And that's a very, very unique way. And we started selling that only a few months ago, and we've got 3/4 of it sold out already. And it's a really great opportunity without having to buy a garage or join the club.
That's interesting. That's actually very affordable if you stop and think about it. Because if you go to Chin Motorsports or some of these other events, you're spending $200-$300 every time you go to a track. So that's if you break it down, that's about a quarter. That's a super deal. So how does that work? So if I want to do that, can I take my own car and drive on the track?
Yeah. That's your own car, and it includes, we have instructors on site, and there's hospitality area with beautiful couches and lounge and snacks and food. And you just show up, you RSVP on an app. There's a member app, and you can come to every session or come to as many as you like. We got pretty high participation already. We literally just opened less than a month ago, and the first few sessions had 40, 50 members per session. So you get, we run in 20-minute run groups based on your driver level, the 3 driver levels, and everyone so far loves it, and it's going to be sold out soon. So the feedback has been incredible. I actually wish can do more than 100, but we really want to keep the member experience very high level.
That's fantastic. That really, really sounds like a lot of fun. Well, Brad, I want to thank you for hanging out with us here at Nostalgic Radio and Cars and talking a little bit about the Motor Enclave, specifically the Cars and Coffee this weekend, which is a free event, which we will help cross-promote. And I look forward to seeing you there this weekend. And again, thank you and all the best to you because you've done a fantastic, amazing job. Carlos de Quesada, who I know you know, he's a real good friend of mine, and he just can't say enough about your event there and your facility. It's just incredible.
Well, thank you very much, and thanks. Good to talk to you again, and look forward to seeing you this weekend. And anytime you ever want to do anything out here, just let me know.
I will do that. Thank you very much.
All right, take care.
All right, see you, Brad. Hey, I want to thank Brad for hanging out with us here at Nostalgic Radio and Cars. The Motor Enclave this weekend, free event, guys, but get there early because the lines are long, but you're going to see cars that you've never, ever seen before. Go ahead and fire up the radio there, and then we're back to Green Onions, and we got our next guest coming on here in a few minutes, so don't touch that dial. You tune into Nostalgic Radio and Cars. Okay, we're back, and you're tuning into Nostalgic Radio and Cars, and it's time for our third special guest for the evening. I'm delighted to welcome this gentleman to our show. He's the founder of the Muscle Car and Corvette Nationals. Now, I've been there a couple times, and I will tell you that this show definitely needs to be on your bucket list. I'm delighted to welcome to the show this evening the founder and promoter of the McCacken, as we kind of an acronym for it, Muscle Car and Corvette Nationals, Bob Ashton. Bob, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm so pumped up. I'm almost ready to do a couple laps around the building here.
Oh, okay. So, hey, by the way, you got snow on the ground up there? Or is it still?
No. Don't even say that S word out here.
Oh, okay. I won't say the S word.
Actually, the weather forecast for the whole week is fantastic for what we do because it's dry and cool. So we're talking like in the 40s, which is, relatively comfortable for this area at this time of year, but completely dry. No rain, no snow, nothing like that in the forecast for the entire week.
Wow. Give us a rundown. Tell us about some of the specials, the features, the amazing cars that are there. And like I said, I told you last year, I said, this is something that's going to be on my to-do list to attend every year. So I'm looking forward to this. So tell us about some of the cool stuff.
I tell people, don't make it your bucket list item, make it your annual tradition. So, and most people, as you said, that's what happens. They'll come out, say, oh, I got to check it out once before I'm gone. And then they come out, and then it does become an annual tradition. So anyway, getting into the good stuff, this will be our largest show ever. We've got about 640 cars coming in from 41 states, including Hawaii, and also 5 provinces of Canada. So we've got stuff that is just coming in from all over the place. And probably what I have to stress to everybody is that no matter what brand, make, or model you lean towards, we have so much to show. So in other words, if you're an Oldsmobile guy, you're going to see a special display of W31s. If you're a Mopar guy, our red carpet display this year features B-body 426 Hemi convertibles, and we have about 30 of them coming in from 1966 to 1970. So, again, that's something, if you see one of those cars, it'll usually stop you in your tracks. And we have, I think it's 28 confirmed. In the Ford and Shelby world, we're celebrating the 60th anniversary of Shelby. We've got a tremendous display of 1965 Shelbys, including 2 GT350Rs. We have the Flying Mile car. So if anybody remembers that from the Shelby movie or Shelby history, that actual car is joining us. We have Boss 429s in darn near every color you can imagine. I got a pair of Cobra Jet and a Super Cobra Jet and a Cobra Jet 70 Cougar convertibles in our class of 70. We've got our Studebaker display, which has got kind of a fun thing that's out of the norm as far as the muscle car world. We have the actual movie car from the Muppet movie. So it's just a fun thing, because we know we're really big on having a family come in and bringing the kids and all that. And we said, how cool would it be to put the Muppet car as one of our cars for our youth judging program? So that's a pretty exciting and fun thing we're doing. And speaking of movie cars, I have one of the original Mopars from Tommy Boy.
Oh, really?
Just recently restored, and it's not a clone or a tribute. This is a real deal car. And the gentleman who happens to own that car was the producer of the Tommy Boy movie. And he's joining us from Hollywood to tell us all about the behind the scenes and the making of the movie, and how he actually ended up being the new caretaker and the restorer of that car.
Wow.
So that's a few of the super duper highlights. And then, of course, we have celebrities that join us, but we're unlike a lot of other indoor car shows in that we aren't into the reality show, throw your wrenches across the floor type of thing. We get guys that come in that are real car people. And this year, we have a real car girl by the name of Shelby Hall. Shelby is the driver and the owner of what's called SHO Racing, which is Shelby Hall Off-Road. She's an off-road racer, very active in the off-road racing scene and very competitive. And she happens to be the granddaughter of Rod Hall, who I'm sure you know of.
I'm drawing a blank.
Rod Hall was one of the biggest champion off-road racers of the 70s and 80s. So it's a different type of, I guess you could say a different type of muscle. But Rod Hall was the ultimate superstar of off-road racing. So he had actually raced Broncos, strap Broncos for a while, and then he ended up being a factory driver for Dodge. And we're doing a special display devoted to Rod Hall with some of the original Rod Hall Dodge trucks, along with Shelby Hall's Bronco DR, which is a competition off-road racing truck that she's racing right now. She's going to come in and talk about her grandfather. She's going to talk about how she ended up taking that love of off-road racing to become a driver herself. So that's kind of a neat and fun little side thing we've got going on.
Well,
you get me going. I'm going to talk until you're
no. Because what the thing is to see what I was trying to emphasize, and you're doing a good job. The Muscle Car and Corvette Nationals. This is for serious. Now, granted, SEMA's cool, and all the concours and all these other shows around the country, Street Rod Nationals. But your show is truly focused. It's my opinion on American muscle cars, but period cars, the history behind it, race car. Like a couple of years ago, there was, Bruce Leland, the California Flash was there.
Yep.
Arnie Beswick was up there. I got to hang out with Arnie for a while. I mean, obviously, the usual crowd there, Courtney's there and Chris is there and everybody. And once in a while, Chip, he'll be there. But for those of us that grew up in the 60s and 70s, and these are the cars we actually drove, And to be able to identify with those cars and the story and the variety, just like you talked about there, all the convertible B bodies, or the Mopo, or the Studebaker, for example. I saw the movie, or the Shelbys and the Bosses and the Cobras, and I mean, it's like it's I don't know, utopia. I don't know how else to describe it. It's you're in a different world. It's like you just went back in the time, and if we only knew then what we know now, half those cars would be in my garage.
Absolutely. And the neatest thing, the one thing that I want to emphasize more than anything, we have literally millions and millions of dollars worth of cars, many cars on the show floor that are worth in excess of $1 million. And I'm going to talk about something kind of related to that in a little bit. But unlike going to a Concours event or some of the real stuffy things where it's like, the gray poupon and the pinky up in the air, the guy next to you on the elevator that you chat that's wearing a Mopar t-shirt and you say, hey, do you have a car in the show? Prime example, good friend of mine, Wade Ogle from Northern California, is one of those guys. He has one of the foremost collections of muscle cars in the world. He owns all 3 Hemi B-body convertibles, or Hemi E-body convertibles, 70 and 71 Hemi Cuda convertibles, 70 Hemi Challenger convertible. This year he's bringing in an unrestored Moulin Rouge, which is Panther Pink to most people, Hemi Cuda, and a Panther Pink 70 Charger RTSE, which is actually his wife's car. But my point is, here's a guy who is obviously incredibly successful. You run into this guy in the elevator, you would think he's you or me or anybody else. He's just another car guy who's got a passion for this great hobby, and everybody seems to check their ego at the door. And you can meet Arnie Beswick, you can meet Butch Leo, you can meet Paul Rossi, you can meet Hollywood producer Pete Siegel. We're all on the same level. We all have the same passion and enthusiasm. And that's what we want you to know, is you can come and rub elbows with these people and hear the stories. And we encourage all the owners to share the stories, be by their cars, and tell us all why that car is so special to them.
The what's in the barn find section this year? That's always my favorite.
Oh boy, it is. People have said to me, they're all getting found. What are you going to do in a few years when nobody can find anything? And every time that happens, it seems like I get a phone call from somebody telling me that there's, another find that nobody knew about. So example of that, our friends from Mopar's 5150 who've been bringing cars to us for the last few years. They're bringing in a 68 Hemi Charger. They just repatriated from Venezuela. The car was sold new to a service member in Venezuela. Car came back from, they bought it there, and it just hit California about 3 weeks ago, and it is literally on the truck on its way here to McCacken this weekend.
Wow.
We have I'm trying to think of what else is. It's just every single car that's in the barn finds is something exceptionally special. We've got a Hearst Olds in there, 1969. We've got several Hemi Mopars in there. We've got a M-Code liftoff hood Coronet Super B in there. I've got a 65 Shelby GT350 in there. Another car that was not even in the registry that nobody knew about that just surfaced recently. And it's just amazing what's out there.
A few years ago, you had you did kind of like a little special. So you did the thing like the guys that owned their cars since high school or something like that, which this year I took my Ranchero to my 50th high school reunion. So
that's awesome.
If I'd have known the year before, I would have tried to get there. But so what's the special feature this year?
Well, we kind of took that theme in a little bit different direction. We're doing what we're calling the generations display. And the idea of that is this is groups of cars that are owned by 1, 2, or 3 generations of a family. So in other words, we have grandpa with grandson. I've got a grandfather with a daughter. We've got a family, 5 cars, father, grandfather, son, wife, wife's father, with 5 different cars, 3 Corvettes, 2 Mopars, and all showing that passion can be handed down to the next generation. And just that passion and the enthusiasm that they have that starts with Grandpa. You know, Grandpa got his son into the cars, the son got the grandkids into the cars, and now they're all active participants in the hobby. So that's one of them. The other thing that we do that's become an annual tradition is what we call our future generation group, which this year I'm thrilled to say we have 16 cars and trucks in a future generation display. The criteria is the owner must be no older than 25 years old, and they have to be active in the hobby. They have to be somebody, not just somebody who bought them a car type of thing, but they're active and, as I would call, ambassadors for the sport. So with that, with the 16 cars, we have 2 of our youngest participants ever, which are both females. We have a 13-year-old girl with a 65 Mustang, and we have a 14-year-old girl with an 82 Collector's Edition Corvette.
Wow.
And people will think, yeah, that mom or dad bought them this car. This 82 Corvette, the young lady who owns that car, people know that I'm big on getting kids involved in the hobby. So I was at Bloomington Gold in June, and I kept hearing people would come into my booth and say, you got to meet Sky. You got to meet Sky. This little girl is just immersed. She loves the hobby and all that. She's got an 82 Corvette. So, of course, I made it a point of chasing her down, and I went and looked at her car, beautiful car, saw her name on it, and it had a little note about her being, at the time, 13 years old. And so I left an invitation and a note that said, please come over to the Kakin booth outside, and I'd like to meet you. So a couple hours later, this sweet little girl comes up with her grandpa and grandma, and she says, excuse me, sir, are you Mr. Ashton? I said, I sure am. I said, I'm guessing that you're Sky Westfall. And she goes, yes, I am. I'm truly honored to meet you. She goes, I understand you might like to have my car in your show, so let me tell you a little bit about it. She went on to tell me the production figures, how many were built with an oyster interior, why she chose that car that she wanted, and how she's going to preserve that car until at least the time that she's old enough to get her driver's license.
Wow. Bob,
that's what I said. Wow.
That's incredible. We're just about up against the clock here real quick. Is there any charity involved in your event?
Absolutely. We have the several charities that are cancer related that we do a lot of fundraising on behalf of them. Leslie's Legends out of the Chicago area here is another one of our charities, which is devoted to breast cancer awareness. And they'll all be on site. And, we're always trying to spread the word and keep people involved and keep a positive attitude about things that happen that are unfortunate for a lot of our ladies that are out there.
Okay, real quick, one more time, plug the website.
It's really easy, mcacn.com, which is just the letters taken out of Muscle Car and Corvette Nationals. We have pre-sale discount tickets available right now through the website, and we are open Saturday from 9 a.m. till 8 p.m., Sunday from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m., and just want to invite everybody to come down and make sure you bring the kids, bring the whole family.
Oh, okay, Bob, we're up against the clock. I want to thank you very much for my good buddy, Bob Ashton from Muscle Car and Corvette Nationals. In the meantime, hey, guys, don't forget to check us out here every Tuesday between 7 and 8 p.m. on the San Talk Radio Network. Stay safe, drive carefully, and love your family.